Hey Cozy, welcome to Five Nights at Fractal, and I'm going to do a quick little Litematica tutorial. I'm assuming you already have the mod downloaded, so we're going to start from there. First, we're going to copy what we have here, and we're going to show you all the configuration settings. So if you press M on your keyboard, it'll open this, and you're going to want to go to Configuration menu. Oh, not that. You're going to go to Configuration menu, and you're going to want to copy most of my settings. So if it doesn't have a little, like if the reset button is black, you don't need to worry about it. It's only the ones that it's not. So copy these two. This can be any item, but I prefer to use something I wouldn't normally use just because it's, if you right click on an accident, it could mess something up. It defaults to a stick. I set mine as a golden hoe though. Set that to bottom right. Set that to 0.5. You might want to be pausing for each of these. I'm assuming you're already doing that though. False, true, true. False, false. And you can search up here for the specific one if you don't feel like it. Nothing in colors. Execute operation, you're probably not going to need if you're just copying my schematics into survival. And then these can be anything. This first one will turn on and off your schematic, and the second one will make it transparent or not transparent. I have mine as keypad 7 and keypad 8 because I never press those. But if you don't have a keypad, you can use another key, or you can set it to a combination of keys. That way you won't accidentally just hit a key. I'm keeping mine as keypad 7 though. And then I don't really do anything there. You're also going to want to change it to normal mode if it's not already in normal mode. So just toggle this to normal. So now you have your settings configured. Let's get your schematic made. So to select an area, you're going to want to hit Area Selection Browser. Let's delete that. New selection. And let's call it green top. Okay? And it should spawn this little cube thing here. The place you stand is important because this is one of the corners that your area is going to be selected at. I'm going to get my golden hoe, which is the tool I have selected. I'm going to hold Alt, and I'm going to scroll forward. And it's going to drag the selection out like this. And then it scrolls in the direction I'm looking. So I can drag this way. I can drag it this way, this way, this way. But this anchor point is always anchored down. There's probably a way to change that, but I don't know how. And you can look up and drag it up until you get everything in your box. You're probably not going to be taking any selections, but I just figured it'd be good to cover. Now that we have everything in our build, in our box, we can hit M and go to Area Editor, and we can hit Save Schematic, and Save Schematic again. This is my list of schematics. Yours should be a lot smaller than mine. Now we have our schematic, and I can get rid of this area by going to Area Selection Browser and hitting minus to destroy that, and now it's not there anymore. But we have our schematic saved, so if I want to come over here, press M, and we're building a schematic now. We're going to hit Load Schematic. We're gonna find the green top one we just made, load schematic, and let me get in all mode. There we go. So our schematic is currently invisible. We can see the outline, but nothing's in there because I need to press my Turn Schematic On button, which was my keypad 7. So there it is. It looks a little weird with my resource pack, but it's translucent, and so if I want to see that transparency or not, I can press keypad 8 and it'll show that. And to move the schematic, we're going to want to be in... Oh, I should have talked about the area selection, the tool modes. Okay, so in area selection is this first mode we were in. We can toggle through the modes like this. And basically throughout the whole mod, you're going to be using different modes with the same buttons to do the same thing. So we just selected an area with that mode. But now we're going to want to go to schematic placement mode. And this lets us move our schematic with the same exact Alt scroll that we were using earlier. We can also right click to set a corner somewhere, so we can move it like that. Also, if we hit minus, we get this fun little menu where we can rotate it. So now it's backwards. Rotate it there. That's important because a lot of my builds need rotated. I can move it directly to the player, which is nice. I can mirror it. I've never done that before, but it's nice. And you can also do this handy dandy thing called the materials list, where it'll give you a full list of every single block in the build as well as what you're missing, which is really, really helpful for big builds. The shortcut for that one is ML. It'll bring up the materials list. And there's one more thing you're probably gonna need to know, and that is the single layer mode. So right now we have the whole schematic showing, but what I can do is press M and then page up on my keyboard, and it can change the mode to what part of the schematic it shows. I'm sure there's here. Let me check configuration level menu hotkeys. Yeah, it's the layer mode. So these are the hotkeys for that: M, page up, page down, and then page up and page down to change the layer that's showing. But when you're in single layer mode, which you go with M, page up, or page down to cycle through that, you can press page up to change what layer of the build it's showing. And you have to, if it's really high up, you have to hit the button a lot to get it down. But it shows just slivers of the build. I'm at -60. Ooh. I didn't know super flat worlds were at -60 these days. That's crazy. Yeah, there we go. So we can see little slivers of our build, which is really nice, because if we're doing a build with a lot of weird like vertical layers, you're gonna want to build it like this. For this build in specific, it probably wouldn't be that important, because you can see more big walls. Like if I go to all, there's a wall here. I say big walls, it's 3 blocks, but you can build it like that, and you can just like okay, you have your blocks, you want to build this, you have that, you can place your first block, and then you can turn the schematic off based on what you remember, and place those. Yeah. And then you can turn the schematic on to double check it. You can also build it with a schematic on, but sometimes it gets a little hard to see when you're inside the blocks. It's not that hard on this small scale example, but you get the point. Now there is another thing about this, and it's that so the blocks will show like this blue ghost block when they are not real. You can walk right through this, it's not real. And it'll look regular when it's placed. It'll also look regular when it's placed in the wrong spot. If the wrong block is placed, it'll look red, which is something to keep in mind. And also, it'll look orange if it's in the wrong orientation. So say I have a stair. I don't have any stairs in this schematic model, but I placed this stair, and this is in the schematic. If I were to place it the wrong way, say that way, it would show up orange. So you need to keep that in mind. In my builds, the orientation isn't always important, but sometimes it is, because you don't want to be building a staircase like this, obviously. So just keep that in mind. It's always nice to be turning your schematic on and off to check it. And now let's do one more example. So I'm gonna hit M. I can see my loaded schematics. I can unload that when I'm done. And I'm gonna load the Fractal TNT Lab 1, which is the first build that I'm gonna be having here. This is a very big schematic, and it's kind of laggy when you first put it in the world. I'll put it right here. So this is the schematic. I can fly right through it. I can move it around with the hoe, so long as I am in schematic placement mode. When you're in creative mode and you have commands, there's another thing you can do, and that is the paste schematic in world mode. And this is really helpful when you're trying to copy and paste builds between worlds, because this is the only mod I know where you can copy and paste a build from one world to another, which is really, really powerful. But I have my X, which is my execute option, my execute command that was earlier. So if I press X, it'll take the schematic, and it'll take a little bit, but it will build it in the real world. Well, in the Minecraft world, anyways. And this one is a big one, so it's kind of laggy, but it's really, really helpful. And then now that that's done, I can press M, loaded schematics, unload, and yeah, this is real now. I can walk on here, I can hang out, do a little gymnastics. Yeah, and then we can go visit the TNT lab, visit the inside. So this is one of the builds that we need built. If you want to help building this, now you know how to get the schematic. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. So thank you for watching this tutorial. If you have any questions, DM me on Discord, Colored Violet. I should be in the Discord. There is a fractal, there's a fractal Discord, a specific one for fractal that we just use to organize anything. It's not like a social Discord or anything. We just have all our builds organized there. So if you want more stuff, go there if you're not already in that server. All right, that's it. Thank you. Thank you for helping. Goodbye.